Hello and welcome to the Art Out of Nature, Harrison's Cave, Barbados. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. As always, I'm pleased that you have chosen to spend the next 30 minutes with my guest. In last week's program, we looked towards the future with Chief Executive Officer Andrea Franklin. We heard of her plans for both the primary and secondary attractions of Harrison's Cave. In this week's program, we shall take you on an exciting journey into the cave. It is not the traditional tram ride. It is a tour that allows you to enjoy the experiences of Ole Sorensen and Tony Mason, who rediscovered the cave back in the 1970s, and which we spoke about in program number 1. Just as they started in a gully and experienced the flora and fauna, this tour begins similarly and is conducted by 3 of the eco-adventure tour guides, Jason Lemon, Barry Allen, and Peter Gittins.
Hello and welcome to Harrison's Cave on our eco-adventure tour, where we get to experience on the inside just like our early pioneers, as they would have creeped, crawled and discovered, exploring, getting wet, getting muddy, and seeing the natural wonders and beauties that Harrison's Cave offers.
I am just about to start the Harrison's Cave Adventure Tour, and excited is not even the word. I'm looking forward to getting dirty. I am looking forward to getting wet, and not just wet, but very, very, very wet. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of wildlife. You know, we've been watching National Geographic. You see these things about giant albino centipedes dangling from cave walls, and they're reaching out and they're grabbing huge bats. Then there are these blind fish that are swimming in the waters, and there are all kinds of amazing animals that have adaptations to live in cave life. Now, I don't know personally what we have here in Barbados, but I'm hoping that we have something very special. But even if there are no weird and wonderful creatures to see, I'm excited to see the stalactites and stalagmites, all of the amazing formations, and I'm excited to see the crystal clear water that's passing through the cave. So whatever this adventure brings, I am more than ready for it.
My name is Michel Mendoza. I'm from Orange County, California. First time doing a cave adventure like this. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm interested in whatever it's going to be.
We suit you up with helmets, lights, elbow pads, knee pads, gloves, and rather than take our signature tram tour, we hike our way on the inside. Quite an adventure. Are we all ready?
Having been suited up, the tour guides escort the adventurers for a brief training session in the various ways in which they will advance through the cave. Peter Gittins.
I'm going to give you guys a little example of what we will be expecting from you all inside the cave, okay? Okay, first crawl. All right, back it up. Okay, the second crawl, on your elbows. Now you have to look where you're going, all right? Keep your head up. All right, back it up, And your final crawl, the one flat on your belly. Go, go, go. Also, so that you'll be able to adjust your gear, make sure your gear is in place, and also make you feel comfortable with that on, all right? That's it, guys. Are you ready? Yeah! All right, let's go. Time for some action.
So as we make our way down, we're actually utilizing one of our scenic trails here on site. And this is where I get to share a bit of information with you, a little bit about the flora, the fauna, and those oral traditions passed down by the older generation, those medicinal properties of some of these plants. As you know, our older generation, they weren't privileged to special medicines or going to doctors. They came into these areas for that natural herbal alternative. So take a look right behind me over here. This large tree here with the broad palmate leaf, this is the trumpet tree or the papagan. Leaves can actually be used in a herbal tea, really great for treating diabetes and hypertension. Even here on the island, our Rastafarian community, they use the leaves of this tree. You can actually take green leaves just like this, rub them together with a little bit of water. You make your own shampoo to wash your hair. A small island of just 166 square miles, Barbados has a lot of gully system here on the island. 430 kilometers of gully system to be exact, all starting from the central inlands radiating out to the coastline, really helping with the excess drainage. We are prone to having hurricanes here on the island, but I want you to think about it. Our foreparents would have used these areas as a really great means of a shortcut. Rather than going the long way around, a nice leisurely stroll through some of these shaded areas. Of course, you have to be aware of bandits hiding out in these areas, and our gullies were also a refuge for runaway slaves. And practiced then and still practice now as the occasional love spot. Quite a few gully babies on the island.
This plant is called the spiral ginger, and as if you guys look just to the bottom, you see it actually grows and spirals. All right, it produces a beautiful white flower. And it was said that back in the day, when our foreparents, our main source of income was sugarcane, all right? And it said, don't quote me, but it said that back in the day, that our foreparents, when they actually go into the fields cutting cane for the days, that sometimes they would have some bowel movements, and they would actually look for plants like these. This is the plant that actually invented Charmin. You don't believe me? Come and feel under the leaf. Take off your gloves and feel under the leaf. See? Softer than Charmin.
I want you to take a look at this large, majestic palm right here, the traveler's palm. But what if I told you the traveler's palm isn't really a member of the palm family? It's actually a member of the banana plant. Take a look at the leaves, they're almost identical. The name was given to the plant because thirsty travelers would try to find one whenever they ran out of a source of viable water. And that is because within each leaf catchment area is hollow. It can actually store up to a half gallon of drinkable water. So if you prise the leaf back, take a look, and you can see all of that water gushing out. Do I have any Pirates of the Caribbean fans on tours? What was the name of Jack's ship? Yes, the Black Pearl. And I'm going to show you now how Jack's ship got its name. Take a look right here in my hand. You can see these little fuzzy, furry seeds. These are black pearls. And as you can imagine, the jewelry industry here, they would make necklaces, bracelets, earrings from this tiny little furry seed. You can't imagine a necklace around your neck, nice and warm and fuzzy. How cool is that? And we've even had a testament. A lady on tour said when her son was 6, made a necklace as an arts and craft project when he was 6 years old. He's 33 and she still has the necklace. She said the only secret, you can't let the seeds get wet or they crack open. So I'll hold on to these and I'll give you them back at the end of the tour, your very first souvenir on the island, yes? This concludes our little Bajan 101, sharing with you the plants, the medicinal properties. But from here, we actually head on over to our Interpretive Center, where we're going to be browsing information for just a bit, really interactive on the inside, and then a short film before we go underground. But I do have to warn you, we'll be underground for about 2.5 hours. We're going to see and hear lots of rushing water. So if you have to use the restrooms, now is the perfect time. Fair warning, drip, 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 drip. I want you to take a look right over here. We can actually see a sculpture depiction of the early exploration into Harrison's Cave. This would have been our very own Barbadian Anthony Mason, leading Danish speleologist Ole Sørensen into the natural passages of our system. This journey took place in the early 1970s. These guys explored for years, every single day, religiously, sometimes spending as many as 5 nights on the inside. You can just imagine the trials they would have encountered, creeping and crawling, exploring for the very first time, not exactly knowing where they were going or what they would find on the inside. Some say crazy, some say brave, curiosity leading them onward. These gentlemen were able to map just over 3 miles of cave system, which is quite a lot for such a small island. Quite successful, as we were able to cut 5 engineered tunnels on the inside to allow safe and easy access on the inside of our cave. Are we all ready to go? Come on over. Welcome to the Great Hall. Largest chamber on the inside. Take a look from floor to ceiling, 100 feet and just over 150 feet across. How many of you were expecting such a large cave and such a large chamber on such a small island? This is not only the largest, it's also one of the oldest chambers here, estimated to predate the island itself. Our cave system would have actually started its development under the ocean. Take a look in the background. Beautiful stalactites hanging from the ceiling. Their corresponding stalagmites growing up from the floor. An immensely slow process, as it will take 120 years for 1 inch of formation to grow. Yes, a really, really long time. Even as we stand here, we can actually hear the sound of running water. We can hear that underground stream. We are going to be following a massive underground stream system. We're going to be tracing this water to where it's coming from, also to where it's going. So this is just the beginning. Come on, let me take you even further on the inside. Across the years, I've heard a lot of amazing guesses. Some people say buildings in a city, some say cactus, some say breadsticks, and I'm going to leave it right there. But to us, we call the area the village. We like to say it looks like a group of people here standing around, persons socializing, the smaller ones being the children, and also why we call it the village. You can actually see facial expressions on a few of these formations. So take a look around. You never know what you're going to see. So can you see the lady's face right over here? Her hair combed back, her head tilted slightly to the side. I like to call her Joan of Arc. We actually know the story. All of the villagers are watching, and sorry to say, she's being publicly executed. She's tied to a huge post here. She's being burnt at the stake, and half of her face is already disfigured in the fire. But of course, I have a vivid imagination. Now everything you see over on the left, this is all original path. All of where we are, this would have been solid rock. I want you to put yourself in the early explorers' shoes. Take a look at the original path. They would have been creeping and crawling up the pathway here, not exactly knowing where they were going, or if the water level would suddenly rise and trap them, because that is a reality of natural caving. Heavy rainfall here on the island, the water in the streams down here can rise considerably. But of course it depends on the amount of rainfall. Sometimes we actually have to suspend tours. The water actually rises so high it jumps its restraints on the inside. So whenever you hear about Harrison's Cave being closed, generally it's for your own safety. But as soon as the water runs off, we come on the inside like it never happened. So let's make our way upstream. This is just the beginning. Let's follow the path, the early explorers.
And that path led the early explorers into what is known as the Rotunda Room, now being experienced by the modern-day explorers. Now, these two unsuspecting adventurers, eager to experience the pure water that flows in the Rotunda Room, took up positions in the stream for a picture-perfect moment, but had no idea what awaited them. Cold, clean, fresh water. Exciting, isn't it?
All right. You see that? You see that?
Yeah. All right, you guys good? Yeah. Everybody's good? Yeah. All right. There you go. There you go.
You actually hear she gargling. Take a look right over here. This is the Explorer's Passage. As the name suggests, this is the original entrance to Harrison's Cave, where Tony and Ole came on the inside for the very first time. The pool of water here, at its deepest point, it's about 9 feet deep in the middle. We can actually see a ladder in the foreground, a rope cordoned around the edge, and guess what? Yes, we are going across. We are going to be making our way towards the rope, using an overhand grip, making our way towards the ladder. Then we climb up and we go all beyond. Are you all ready? This is where you get wet. This is where you get muddy. This is where you experience the cave, just like Tony and Ole did.
For about 45 minutes, the adventurers made their way through the dark cavern, crawling on hands and knees and sometimes gliding on their stomachs. Here they emerge from the darkness and descend into Explorer's Pool before sharing their experiences of the tour so far.
That was amazing. Very cool. Very cool. Cool trip. Couldn't do this back in the States. They wouldn't let you.
Recommend it. Highly recommend it. Fabulous, fabulous excursion.
What's her name? Charlie Brem.
Carolyn Brem.
Philadelphia.
What did you see?
A lot of stalactites and stalagmites. A lot of mud.
You know, I saw something that we'd never be able to see anywhere else. It was just awesome. It really was.
It was great. It was awesome. It was much more than I expected. And I recommend it to everyone. It's the best tour, or one of the best tours on the island.
So you're going to give me a hug? You sure you don't want That was probably one of the best things we've ever done. It was amazing. How about you? You got a nice face on?
There are no words to describe how amazing that was. I didn't know what to expect. It was really good.
I dragged him along to this and he loved it.
What's going on? How are you? Fantastic. This is a lot of fun. We have two great tour guides. They're absolutely amazing. And this is just everything. I didn't know what to expect, but it's everything and then some. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, it was so good. It was, what are you doing? What? You're washing my hair?
No, it was...
It's good.
Oh, water, thank you. We didn't see any wildlife, but it was absolutely amazing. So there was mud, there was chalk, there were thousands of tiny, he said they're called, not ice picks, toothpicks. What? Straws, yes. There were thousands of little stalagmites from the ceiling. There was lots of crawling, flat on your belly. There were tunnels. There were some really, really nice formations, and it really did feel, like a completely natural experience. Yes, you're on a guided tour. Yes, the trail is marked and everything, but it did feel like you were kind of on your own and you were exploring for the first time. It was a little bit of a workout as well, shoulders tight, probably have bigger thighs as a result. And it was crawling through water, crawling through mud, and there were these little pools. So sitting in pools of icy water, there were stalactites everywhere, there was chalk, just like this. And if you're anything like me, you're used to chalk being the white concept, that artificial chalk that we see on the board at school. But this is chalk. And we did a really cool video before we went in that taught us about the formation of Barbados. And they said that there were thousands of little plankton that have, phytoplankton and plankton that had tiny little calcareous bodies. And when they died, those bodies settled out and that created the chalk layer. So this is actually, this piece of rock, this is a piece of chalk. And this is actually like a little tiny microorganism graveyard. So these are thousands of skeletons that settled out to create this chalk. So not only do you have that, all of that inside, but then you have clay and mud as well. And you can see all of these baby stalactites that are now forming. So we're at the beginning of the process. Who knows, in another 500,000 years, the entire passage may be closed off because they grow right down. But it was exciting. I don't regret doing it. I would turn around and do it again. I don't think it's something that you could experience anywhere else in the world because in most places you're carted off from the cave. You have to walk on a path. You're not really allowed to go in and to have a natural experience, and that is something that I am very, very, very glad. So I think every Barbadian should come and experience a part of our heritage. This is Barbados. In a lot of the other Caribbean islands, you don't get a limestone karst cave experience like this. So I think everybody should come down and try it out at least once. It was amazing.
What a testimony, an event which she no doubt will remember for the rest of her life. I encourage you to accept Carla's invitation and take in the eco-adventure tour of Harrison's Cave. Well, that brings us to the end of this program. Do join us next week at the same time as we continue the final stages of the eco-adventure tour of Harrison's Cave on Art Out of Nature, Harrison's Cave, Barbados.